DotaFanTV, welcome everyone to our very first fan reaction video that we'll be making for the Dream League Season 15 DPC Western Europe Upper Division, and the game we'll be covering today is Team Liquid versus Team Alliance. In the very first game, I actually got no idea what the fuck is going on, because what I saw is I have two hero mid on Liquid side where they put Insania and then they put Mickey mid as well against the Mars mid. And you thought having the Queen of Pain solo top would be good, but just look at the CS over here that I've shown. Spellbreaker have 4 CS and Queen of Pain have 4 CS as well, and this Spellbreaker is a post 4 and the Queen of Pain is supposed to be a post 2, and this is 3 minutes into the game already, which means there are already 5 or 6 wave of creep and she only have 4 CS. There's no way the Queen of Pain is happy. And we have S4 as a Razor in top, basically just enjoying the time of his life, denying all the creeps, 10 deny already so far and 14 last hit for a Razor against a range hero. It's a dream. And the reason that they put Insania mid is basically to secure better farm for Jug, right? And to be fair, it kind of worked for them, and for those who haven't watched the game yet, they won this game, so it kind of worked for them, I would say. But yeah, I think it's a big kudos to the team as well, because when you play this kind of strategy, you need to make sure maybe like when Quakefa, this Queen of Pain is having a bad lane, he is not tilting, and we can see in this case as the game proceeds, right, he actually start to make more and more comeback. Actually, in 6 minutes, 8 CS is still fucking horrible, and they just basically just sack the Queen of Pain. But as the game goes by, actually Quakefa did make a comeback, and when we watch the game, you will realize he actually didn't tilt at all. He has a lot of belief in his team, making the right move, doing the right thing, and I think that kind of mindset is one of the reason why Liquid is known as one of the best team in the world, to be honest, in terms of managing this. I really believe that Liquid on their in terms of as a group, as a mindset, I really think they're super strong together. I think they will be one of the, like in Europe at least, or in terms of the teams that I've watched, one of the probably the last team that will make changes to the roster, I would think, because of just how together the team felt like. And yeah, it's a very Liquid thing, like I said, for them to be sticking together and trusting the process in all those games. In the game 1, as the game proceed, to be honest, I just feel like the way Liquid play the game is very not very organized, but Alliance is even kind of worse in that department, I would say, in terms of the organization, because in the mid game, if you look, right, it's 4 and 7 in the thing, so it's not really out of control yet for Alliance, but somewhere around in the minute like maybe 15 until 25, it was really bad, because there was a lot of just pick off from Team Liquid side, random pick off that was done, and then a lot of hero was caught being alone. It was a Mars at this moment, like the one you see on screen, and then some other time was 1 or 2 other hero. Just that start to give more and more lead to Liquid, and Alliance. There's nothing much they can do about it, to be honest. In this patch, it feels like Juggernaut is so much superior against the Phantom Lancer. There is nothing much that if you start, if Team Liquid start pulling off this kind of lead, there's just nothing Alliance can do. And I feels like in the first game at least, Alliance feel like they are clueless, like they feel lost, they don't know what to do, they are not making play, they are very passive, and it doesn't really suit the game as well, because we all know, like I mentioned earlier, Juggernaut will eventually out carry the Phantom Lancer. Even so, it's made even so when if you look at the item that Juggernaut bought, not only he buy Battle Fury, actually if you scroll later in the game, he even bought a Maelstrom in the game just to counter the PL. And the PL have, if I show the net worth, Yeah, it's not even close. Obviously, at this point, the game is probably almost over already. 18,000, 19,000 lead, and then they lost one side of the racks already. But my point is just the way the Alliance was playing. It feels very clueless. It's maybe having, they pick Mars to play mid. Maybe having Mars mid is also another thing that kind of cost them, hero like Mars or even Dragon Knight playing mid is very static. This kind of hero don't have a lot of mobility. They are not known to be roaming around and helping the side lanes, and it's just very, if from an Alliance fans point of view, I would think that it's very boring to watch. It feels like the team is not doing anything to rectify the problem. And as a fan, you just watch it go out of control, spiral out of control, and there's nothing that the team can do about it. But to be fair, in terms of fight, when it happens, there are a few times that S4 is able to link the Juggernaut, and it feels like a very good start of a fight. But there is only X amount of times that Juggernaut will be caught, in that kind of situation. This guy, look at his item. He got crazy movement speed. He got face boot, he got spider leg, and then he got wind lace, and even prioritize the wind lace over the hyperstone. Look at this, right? Ah no, he moved back. Okay, fuck me. That's not the main point. But the main point is he got crazy ton of movement speed, and there's only, you can caught him off guard with that kind of play for one time, for two times, but it's not gonna happen all the time. He will be aware of it afterward, and Juggernaut is not the kind of hero like Troll where you need to go in and you need to commit. No, Juggernaut can fucking go in, cast some of the spell, spin out, and then go in again. Because like Swift slash spell like this, it can actually cast like 2 or 3 times in one fight. When the fight is very drag out. So I think Razor is not the best answer to it. I mean, I give Alliance credit for trying, but it's just inevitable that they will be losing this game. It felt like ever since maybe like 15 to 20 minutes where the team are not doing anything and then they got some pick off. It's just inevitable. Yeah, it's the PL. Like I said, there's no way that you can fight into a Juggernaut. Not only he have this kind of item, I need to highlight that they have a shard also where you causes but like you will have normal attack when you spin. So yeah, that is the game one. And oh boy, here we come to the second game. Apologies, I couldn't show a replay of a match because there is a bug where they don't allow me to download the replay. But it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna talk through it anyway. So one thing that when we look at Liquid lineup, right, that I don't fancy a lot is seeing this Grimstroke mid. In your pops, when it happen, right, you feel it's a bit gimmicky. Sometimes it work out. Sometimes there's a lot of burst or magic damage. It might be nice and cool and it might work out. But in pro game, to be honest, I think Liquid or maybe even Alliance did it a few times during the major in Singapore, and it didn't went well. I think I don't think they won a game with Grimstroke, I would say, and as a Grimstroke core or Grimstroke mid. I think Team Nigma is the one that play Grimstroke as position 3. That as well, I think maybe they won one game out of like 3 times doing that. I'm really not a big fan of doing that because in this patch or even the patch before, BKB feels like a must-have item. A lot of core will have that, and when you get a BKB, which you will definitely get, there is nothing that the Grimstroke can do against you. So other than run, and this hero also have no escape mechanism. So how it just feel very awkward to play into. I'm not sure why they do this. They first pick the Grimstroke, I think, so they can actually. I think they last picked the Enchantress. I don't think Enchantress is an issue, but I'm just saying maybe they can do ET post 5 and then Grimstroke post 4 and then have some other hero play as a mid, but they didn't opt for that, so I'm not exactly sure why. In this game, actually, the biggest problem on Alliance side, I mean, for against Liquid is Alliance having this Swen. So the way this game went was in the beginning, like 15 minutes or so, Liquid was owning, right? They were killing. I think the score was like 20 kills to Liquid and then 4 kills to Alliance. But when we look at the goal lead, right, it was only like maybe 2k lead or something. And then I think Team Liquid felt safe because Swan didn't have a good lane. He died in a lane like 2 times against this Enchantress, play out of his mind. Taiga Enchantress is so fucking good, man. The way he control, the way he lane, and I think the way Liquid, how they like to prioritize and give more farm to position 4 and sacrifice a little bit on position 3 boxy. It's kind of shown in the net worth as well when you look at this too. It's just, oh, it's so good, man. The way Tiger play, he bullied, he gets Centaur, he stunned the Lich, and then he get the first blood out of him. He bait him. Oh, it's just this player is out of his mind, Tiger. Back to the game. Sven have a horrible lane. I think that's why they felt safe that, you know, we can let him farm a bit, give him a bit more space. We don't really care. But it was wrong. So after maybe 15 or 20 minutes of the game, Team Alliance is losing very badly. But having said that, they put a lot of player in their off lane to kind of it didn't really work out for them, you know. They feed a few times, feed a few hero, but what they do is putting hero in the off lane is Sven now is free to farm the entire safe lane jungle area without contest, and there's a few fight and all those things, but all they're doing is just buy space for the Sven. He has a rough start, but he immediately rushed stuff like Mask of Madness and then the Echo Saber, and then after that rush BKB immediately. And once he has the BKB, oh boy, just look at Team Liquid. You have Draw Ranger, where you don't do anything against BKB, and at the same time, when the Swan have blink, he's blink in, stun, and hit you, there's nothing you can do about it, you know. And then you have Void Spirit, who also don't do anything. Every single one of the hero don't do anything against BKB, except maybe a little bit for Grimstroke if he's able to link Sven with one of the other hero and one of the other hero together. But if most of the time, the initiation was actually done by Alliance side. After the, you know, there was one where after they get Roche, Team Liquid tried to go high ground because they were still winning. If you look at the score, it's maybe like 22-5 or something like that. They were still winning, but at that point, if you try to go high ground like that, they kind of misread how strong is Sven. They didn't know he was that strong. Nico Baby is out of his mind, and once he has that blink, he can blink in, he cast stun, and he have the initiation, and he just fucking, like, all of these heroes are super, what do you call that, super soft. Again, like, there's basically just like, again, with a Mask of Madness and Echo Saber, like, he can stun you within, he can kill you within the stun time. That's what I'm saying, except maybe for Tiger, because the Enchantress in a lot of situation, like, it takes a bit more effort to kill, right? In the fact that he got the skill that make you slow when you attack. So I think the strength in Alliance is really, really highlighted over here. The fact that, you know, they are losing by what, 20-4, I mentioned 22-5 or whatever, but they were still they still believe in what they are doing. They still understand that, you know, Sven is our winning, the thing that make us win the game, our winning condition, right? If he have a good game, it's okay. We buy time for him. All 5 of them fucking run to the off remaining 4 hero of them fucking run to the off lane, cause chaos. They feed 2 or 3 hero, doesn't really matter, reset, and then keep doing it again. That is what bought time for Nico Baby. If we look at the score overview, I don't have the one that shows the graph of this game. Maybe it was a bit bugged, that's why I can't even download the replay. But I think Alliance know that once Nico Baby is fat enough, with what I said just now, you know, the Blink, the BKB, and a few other items, there's absolutely nothing that Team Liquid can do about it. And once the push was failed, and then once Alliance started winning 1 or 2 fight, it feels like the game is already over. It's just a matter of time. Like I said, it was 20-4, right, the score, and and the end of the game was 28-28. So it was a reverse 20-4 kind of situation in the last few fight. And yeah, in the end, actually, even when I look at it, it feels like Team Liquid was maybe slightly tilted. In the end, the way the game was ended was they just chained feet for whatever reason. They were holding high ground. They didn't wait for the teammate to respond, and then one by one got caught. They die, and they don't have buyback, and they just call GG. So, yeah, that was game 2. Okay, so as for the third game, I think this game, the way Team Liquid draft I think they kind of maybe miscalculated or never expected something, because it feels like they got out drafted very badly. So I'm just gonna skip through a little bit on the draft, and then we will start to show the hero and all those things. So why do I say so is that when we look at the pick, right, the hero is not loading. Let me do this. There we go, it's loading now. When we look at the pick, right, you see these 4 heroes, and then when they ban, they're banning Lifestealer and banning Slug, where I think if the last pick that Alliance actually went for was actually Morphling, and it suits the game so much, because if you look at the lane, right, in terms of laning, there is nothing that Sand King and then Dark Willow can do against a Morphling, right? Some people might say that Morphling is nerfed this patch, where when you do attribute switch, attribute shift, sorry, shifting from, morphing from strength to edgy or whatever, it takes mana right now, and you might think that it's worse. But if you look at the stats, right now you actually shift faster as well, although it requires mana. And if you look at the team in Liquid, right, there's no hero that actually burns mana. And besides that, having faster shift means you cannot apply pressure to him, especially in the early stage where you only have level 1 or level 2 attribute shift. Last time you are able to apply, because when you shift, it takes like ages to shift. But right now, you can just morph into strength and AG much quicker, although it requires mana. And you have Dark Willow and Sand King. I don't think these 2 heroes traditionally apply a lot of pressure in the lane. So this morph is actually have a free early game, okay? And then we try to analyze in the mid game, right? Which hero have silent or have things that instant stun him so that he don't attribute shift? None. You have Sand King, and that's it. Or maybe you have the silent from Grimstroke. But Sand King, you need to wait for the Blink Dagger. And then Grimstroke, to silent, you have to wait for that thing to... There is a time, right, for it to fly from, Grimstroke to him. Whatever that spell is called, to silent Morphling. And you know what Nico Baby buy? First item? He bought a fucking Lincoln. That was his first item. Right? If we go to player perspective, go to Morph, look at the first item he bought. Lincoln. He queued up Lincoln right away because he recognized the only way he can die in this game is if he got blink stunned by this Sand King. And that's it. So when he has a Lincoln, he's a god. There's nothing that anyone can do. So he essentially have a free lane, and then he will have a free mid game as well. And oh boy, when I tell you this, you better believe. I think Nico Baby is really the best morph player out there. Like, it is one of his most popular hero, and it's also one of the best player to play it. I really think so. And they don't call him Prison Artizy for no reason, This guy, when you give him the space, he can carry you, and it was proven time and time again when he played for Alliance. There's so many. In the previous game was the Swan, right? And in the previous DPC, there were so many games that it's just buying enough time and space for Nico Baby to carry the game. He's a little bit like Miracle, but I would say he's less flashy, less fancy. He's more towards just play a very good and stable game. A lot like RTZ, I would say. So Prison RTZ is real. And yeah, it's just, there's nothing much for me to highlight actually. I mean, in the third game, I feel like they lost the draft. Yes, you have Viper against DK mid, Liquid Viper, and then Alliance have DK mid. And it is a super bad matchup. And then But then you see Viper is super big, DK is a lot behind him, and then he also died a few times. There is a few skirmishes that didn't benefit Alliance. But having to say that, the Morph is always gonna outcarry the Viper. And I've told you already, and there's no way that this Viper can kill the Morph without the help of his team. The only way that I can think of that maybe Team Liquid can play this draft a little bit better is if Juggernaut go for Diffuser Blade, maybe Battle Fury and then into Diffuser Blade. Maybe that way will work, right? Because if you look at it afterwards in a lot of fight, I think this is one of the big fight that the Morph cast like so many spell off, kill almost every single one, and he still have so much mana left. So maybe he will just need a diffuser, but maybe from his perspective, he's thinking, I'm never gonna get on top of this Morphling or something. So if I can't hit it, what is the point of getting a diffuser? But I don't think so. I feel like that is almost the only way that they can try to win this game. Yeah, because the game really feels very over. He's unkillable. He have crazily good lane. He have crazily good mid game. There's no counter in their team. He can shift to Juggernaut and get a free BKB even. He can shift to Sand King and get a free stun. There's no counter, and against one of the best Morphling player, there's no way you're winning this. So that is it for game 3. So to conclude this, I really think that whenever we watch Team Liquid, we don't know what we will be getting. I think in terms of all the teams that I've watched, Team Liquid really have the biggest range in terms of like their best performance and their absolute worst performance, and they are always shoving between this huge range. On their good performance day is one of the best Dota I've ever watched, craziest comeback, and I think on their good day they can really beat the best team in the world, even Team Secret. But on their worst day or anything between, sometimes it's just it's not working out, and we can see here from the second and third game, I think it's rather underwhelming. One thing to even prove my point is just look at how they played back in the Singapore Major, right? Where on their first day they actually won all 3 of the series that that they play, and some of the game are quite difficult as well. But on the second day they have 2 other series, they lost all of them. They just show how relatively inconsistent they are compared to a lot of other teams that we have watched. Having said that, I think Team Liquid is one of the best in terms of bouncing back, just because of how together they are as a team. We have seen a lot of video, of them like hugging each other after crazy comeback and all those things, and the vibe as a team just feels very, very a good place to be at, I would say. And in terms of alliance, I think their strategy in the previous DPC and the current DPC, when they play the league, there's really not much difference. The way that they want to play is pick a carry that will out carry the opponent carry, and then the rest of the team try to stall out the game as long as possible. And they're super good at it. I mean, you can see in the previous season they get second, right? It's not a coincidence. And having a team where they are really good at stalling out, really know how to read the game to stall out the game, and having Nico Baby as a carry where he knows how and when to engage, and when he's strong enough to carry the team is really, really strong for them, for Alliance. But one thing I would want to say is that S4 did say at the end of this game in the interview, he say, the thing that they try to strive this time, they got second last season, they want to get first this season, and they want to try to beat Team Secret. But the way I think the difference between Team Secret and any other team is that the clean Dota that they play, they are able to pull a huge lead before you know it. So when you are in this situation where you are in some way kind of intentionally allow opponent to have the lead, right? Team like Team Secret will have maybe, against Team Liquid, they have a 2k lead. But if it's against Team Secret, they're able to pull an even bigger lead. They really know how to make 2K into 4K into 6K into 8K and so on and so on. And before you know it, the lead is too big for even Nico Baby to come back and try to carry. I think that is the risk that they have to be aware of. Because Team Secret are just too efficient in around the map. Even their position 5 puppy is farming in the jungle, and it is not a bad thing. It's not a flaming to say, haha, what is this post 5 farming or whatever. It is a legit strat. When your team is 10k ahead of the opponent, I don't care how good your player is or how good your draft is. Sometimes it just doesn't, they don't care how good your draft is. Your hero is better than me, but I have a big enough lead to be able to counter that. So that is the part that Alliance need to be careful of, I think, or maybe need to have some form of plan B against teams like Team Secret or something. But having said that, you know, Team Secret is just too difficult to beat. Yeah. So this is it. This is our very first fan reaction video on this channel, DotaFanTV. I hope you enjoy the content. I should see you all in the next one. Bye.